Hello, I'm your friend, Teacher Sam. I'm here to embark on an exciting journey with you as we delve into the fascinating world of the English language. Today we are going to tackle a common problem that most language learners face: remembering the English words you've learned. Have you ever found yourself forgetting a word you just learned a few days ago? Or maybe you simply can't recall the right word at the right time? Well, you're not alone in this. Remembering all the English words that you've learned can be a daunting task. But fear not, because I have some proven strategies to share with you that will make this process easier, more enjoyable, and effective. So, whether you are just starting out with English or looking to expand your vocabulary, this guide is for you. Stay tuned as I guide you through the steps of remembering all the English words that you've learned. Firstly, remember that repetition is key. Let's unravel this a bit. When you're learning new English words, it's not enough to simply read them once and move on. No, you need to repeat them. Think of it like baking a cake. Each time you repeat a word, it's like adding another layer of frosting. The more you repeat, the more delicious and memorable your cake becomes. Now, how should you repeat these words? Well, don't just parrot them. Use them in different contexts. If you learn the word blossom, for instance, don't just say blossom over and over. Use it in a sentence. Say, "The flowers blossom in the spring." Then, "I hope to see our friendship blossom." Each new context helps to solidify the meaning of the word in your mind. Repetition might seem tedious, but it's a crucial step in memorizing new English words. Next, always aim to use new words in sentences. This is a golden rule to follow. Once you learn a new word, it's important to understand how it fits into the wider context of a conversation or a piece of writing. And the best way to do this is by using it in a sentence. This not only helps you understand the word's usage, but also its context. Let's take the word rejuvenate, for example. It's a verb that means to make someone or something look or feel better, younger, or more vital. Now, instead of just memorizing this definition, let's put it into a sentence. You could say, "After a long day at work, a warm bath always rejuvenates me." Here, you're using rejuvenate in a context that's relatable and easy to understand. Or how about the word tenacious? It's an adjective that means not readily relinquishing a position, principle, or course of action. Determined. Now let's put it into a sentence. You might say, "Despite many setbacks, she remained tenacious and eventually succeeded." Again, by using tenacious in a sentence, you're not just memorizing the word, but understanding its application in a real-life scenario. Now it's your turn. Once you've learned a new word, try to create your own sentence. It could be something simple or a bit more complex, depending on your comfort level. Remember, the goal here is to understand the word's usage and context, not to create a literary masterpiece. And don't be afraid to experiment. Play around with different sentence structures and contexts. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become with using new words, and the easier they'll be to remember. There's also another bonus to this method. By using new words in sentences, you're also practicing your grammar and sentence structure skills. So, it's a win-win situation. Remember, practicing these sentences helps ingrain these new words into your memory. So keep practicing and keep learning. You're doing great. Another effective method is to fully engage with the language. Now, you might be wondering, what does it mean to engage with the language? Well, it's about making English a part of your everyday life, not just something you study for an hour or two. The more you interact with the language, the easier it becomes to remember the words you've learned. Let's break it down into 4 main areas: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Reading is a fantastic way to expand your vocabulary. Whether it's a novel, a newspaper, or even a cereal box, every bit of English text you read helps reinforce the words you've learned and introduces you to new ones. Writing, on the other hand, is all about application. It's one thing to recognize a word when you see it, but it's another to correctly use it in a sentence. Writing in English, be it a diary entry, an email, or a social media post, helps cement the words in your memory. Listening to English is an excellent way to familiarize yourself with the language's rhythm and flow. It could be a podcast, a movie, or a song. The key is to train your ears to recognize and understand the words you've learned in a natural context. Speaking English, finally, is the ultimate test. It requires you to recall and use the words you've learned on the spot, which is a powerful memory booster. Try speaking English with a friend, or if that's not possible, talk to yourself. It might feel a bit odd at first, but it's an effective practice. So, there you have it. 4 ways to engage with English. Remember, it's not about cramming as many words as you can into your brain. It's about making those words a part of your life, using them until they feel as familiar as your native language. Engaging with the language isn't just about learning, it's about immersing yourself in the language. To wrap things up, Let's take a moment to reflect on the key points we've discussed. Remember, repetition is fundamental. It's the reinforcement that cements the words into your memory. It might seem repetitive, even monotonous, but that's how our brains learn and retain information best. Next, always try to use new words in sentences. This not only helps you remember the words, but also understand their context. It's like fitting a piece into a jigsaw puzzle. The picture becomes clearer and more meaningful when all the pieces are in place. And lastly, immerse yourself in the language. Engage with it in all its forms: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. It's not just about memorizing words, it's about living the language. Improving your English and remembering all the English words you've learned opens up a world of opportunities. So keep practicing and never give up.